What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Kicking It with Kool-Aid. This is season 2, episode 1, and we have a special guest. I told you we're gonna do something different this season. So again, shout out to all my butterflies, all my new subscribers. And if this is your first time to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and we about to just get into it. Yes, we have the phenomenal, talented, multi-platinum singer-songwriter, JC in the building. What's up, JC?
What's up? I need to get you to introduce me.
Introduce
when I
you?
do shows and stuff.
That's what I do.
I already know.
Enough said.
I already know.
Done.
I've seen you on the mic.
Done. Hey,
Alright.
hey, that's coming up. I done got me a job, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just get into it.
Okay.
For those who don't know,
Okay.
who is JC?
JC's an independent singer-songwriter. I've done music for 26 years, and now I'm just, it's a business for me, but I'm really just having fun.
Of course. Listen, speaking of 26 years, let's just get into the music.
Okay.
Now, let's just talk about this hit with Eric Bellinger.
Okay.
I'm name dropping. I'm doing it. How did that come about?
That's actually a dope story. So I did a song. I had a batch of songs with Keys Baby. He was one of the producers I was working heavily with at that time in particular. And that was one of the songs I had decided to release. I actually wrote it for Chris Brown. And at the last minute, it didn't make his album. So I was like, I'm going to put it out myself. And I went out to LA to shoot the video for it. And the day after I shot the video, my friend who was a promoter, he was like, man, you know who would kill this? He was like, man, Eric Bellinger. And I was like, oh yeah, he go crazy. I'm like, but we done shot the video, song over. And he sent it to him that night, and Eric literally, like I had never met him a day in my life. He sent me back a verse. Like he was like, bro, this junk crazy. He was like, I just killed it. And I was like, this has to be a joke. So I checked my email. So I'm like, bro, listen, I called him. I was like, bro, I'm independent. I got to have you in the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense now. I just shot the video yesterday. So literally, guerrilla style, I was like, meet me at Venice Beach. And just give me 30 minutes so I can get the performance scene. And we got cool after that because he respected it. He did show up, put up a Ferrari, everything, like just not even on no Hollywood stuff. He respected the fact that he got it. He was like, I know being in the video like carries the song more, and I'm independent, you independent. I already knew he was independent. So I was like, I know it don't have to get cleared. Right. I know you can be in the video. It's just a matter of you pulling up. I gave you a central location. Then I had to get the directors to agree to do it, because I didn't even know if they was available. I done set the whole shoot up.
Right.
And they wasn't even available, so they had to move some stuff around. And he committed to 30 minutes, and we were out there for 6-7 hours.
And on the strength.
On the strength. We sat in the car, we listened to music, we got cool, we walked around with the people in the video, some of the directors. Like, we out there eating funnel cakes, just chopping it up on the cakes. Yeah, it was dope.
And for y'all who don't know, the song is called Way Too Much. I'm going to leave a lot of links to some of the dopest songs that he has. And I just wanted to talk about this because I think we met about 3 years ago. And that's when...
It's longer.
It do, don't it?
Yeah.
That make me feel good. He's like, no, so that song, my favorite song, Worth It. Remember?
Yeah.
That song, like your writing and the way that you tell a story is so emotional, like connecting to people. Like that song, I like re-listened to it and I was like feeling a certain type of way. Like
That's
what?
crazy.
Right. I love that. I almost want to say, you ever think about re-releasing or like rotating songs?
Yeah, I would love to. Like, my goal is to eventually build enough leverage to, because obviously we talked about this before, like getting record deal offers and stuff, and it's tempting a lot of times, especially when you're doing everything yourself. But I know what I'm building. Like, so if I do reach my goal, or when I do, and then I do a deal, it's gonna be so much more beneficial. Because it won't just be about me. Like, I can really have like a company and sign other artists. because I'm not as interested in the artist side of things as I am in the behind the scenes aspect, especially now. But yeah, that song, it's anytime I hear somebody, maybe it's subliminal, but I don't write. We've written together. You know, I don't be thinking too much. Like I just exactly. Really just wrote. I sang that song. That's another Keys baby. That's one of his producers from Upperclassmen, and I don't know. I just did the song. I didn't have nothing in mind. It's not so based relatable. On a true.
Like the way that it's told, it's like it's hard to find men. Like I love your style of writing because it's vulnerable. I feel like it's universal for men and women because you give a man's perspective, but not on the weak side.
Right.
You know, it shows that I can still be a man. I need to do what I need to do for my lady, my woman. But it's like, what is your thought process as far as like, it's no scenarios, no situation. It's just this record is telling me to write, boom, and you just go.
It's just I don't know.
I love it.
Like sometimes it's a word, a phrase, but I can count on one hand in all these years how many times I wrote a song from personal experience or something. Now, what's unique about that song is my ex-wife ended up being in the video because she heard the song on my album. We were already separated, all this stuff, but it was, it was mutual and it was cordial.
Of course.
So
that's how it should be.
She was like, man, this song makes me think about our situation because since we speaking on mental health and stuff, eventually, she was secretly on drugs. So the video is based on a true story, even though the song is not. But she directed the video.
Wow.
And she's in the video.
That's dope.
So I only did the video for her mental health. Like she felt like it was a way for her to bring closure to our situation and tell people what happened without telling them.
Yes.
So like people used to ask me like, man, what happened? I'd be like, oh, watch the Worth It video. Like, and they'd be like, hold on, is this real? And I'm like, yeah, that's really what happened. So it's showing her sneaking, doing stuff, me finding her.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back.
Yeah, so now when you go back,
it's gonna be a whole different vibe when I go back.
So the video is real, but that's it.
Yes, okay, and then I want to talk about one more song because I think I texted you or called you when you made that Quick Trip song.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yo, when
I was at Quick Trip.
Remember, I was like, what in the world? Who thinks to be in Quick Trip and be like, I'm going to write a song about Quick Trip? Like, y'all got to check out that song. Like, your writing is just crazy. I love it. So, let's just get into the 50 years of hip hop because that's where we at right now. What is that to you? What is hip hop to you and how? And like, what are some of your influences?
Man, that's a dope question because doing primarily R&B, that's why I like to introduce myself as a writer because I've written for tons of rappers. You know what I'm saying? Where I didn't sing at all. That's something I did recently for a particular artist. And it's how that goes. But like that's something, I mean, I like that just as much as the R&B. But then I listen to pop and all kind of, I was listening to jazz group on the way here. It's just wherever I feel it, whatever I feel at the time. But the majority of what I listen to is hip hop. But so my writing style, if you break down my writing style and take the melodies out of it, I really write like a rapper. I think Eric Bellinger writes like, we were talking about him earlier, I think he writes like that as well, and Ty Dolla. And I think that's why they so dope. Definitely. Because they're not restricted. A lot of times as an R&B writer, you only write R&B type of stuff. Like you're scared to do ad-libs. You can do ad-libs in the background, rap ad-libs, to hype up what you're singing, stuff like that.
Because people, they want stuff that they can remember and easy, especially when it comes to music. In my opinion, I feel like the hit songs are hits because one, people can relate to them. Two, they can remember the hook. And then a lot of people wish that they could sing. You got a lot of fans that be like, oh, I wish I could sing. So if they can sing your song without all the inflections and all the, runs, then it's like, I feel like they can connect more with you.
I'm going to tell you what did it for me. It's like, so I've had the privilege of being able to open shows as an independent artist, major shows.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was on that.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, so one of my homies, he's a big time promoter, and I got a couple now. So they put me on these big shows that I really ain't had. Some of them ain't had no business being on. They'll just add me to. I've been on tour with Lil Wayne, Migo, all kind of people. And what I learned on those tours was that my music didn't carry over. All my little R&B stuff, it didn't work well when you're singing in front of 10,000 people that have never heard of you. Mm-hmm. So it forced me to change my writing. Literally, I remember the year 2018 when I did all that stuff like Bounce, Way Too Much, Quick Trip, all of those singles were geared around material that if I get up here and perform this in front of 7, 8, 9,000 people, how do I hold that crowd if they've never heard me? I can't do that just singing a slow jam. That's cool if I got their attention. But how can I get you to kind of vibe and kind of ride with me, or maybe chant my lyrics too without me being a quote unquote rapper? Mm-hmm. So I had to just fuse the two, which is how I originally started over 20 years ago. So I was like, oh, this what people on? Oh, this is easy. Mm-hmm. And so it made the writing easy because I don't have to sing as much, and then I can just go into the singing portion of what I do, like a cappella, or I'll do like one song where I'm like singing. It could be Happy Birthday. They'll be like, oh my God, he just sing. Right. And I'm like, man, y'all don't understand. I done coasted through this little show. Like, so I ain't had to sing for real.
So with that being said, you now can see the songs that you are releasing now. Is that something you feel like can relate to people, like 10,000 people, 20,000 people engaged?
Because that's literally what I perform, the material I have out, and then I do a lot of material that's unreleased because I write so much. So I just take a song that I've never put out and I perform. I'm doing South by Southwest. My whole show is unreleased. Well, I'm doing one song. For me, that's the only song that I'm performing that has been released. Everything else no one's ever heard. But it gives you the luxury of just kind of making each show unique. So I changed the show. Like if I'm overseas, like when I went to Ghana, I did all Afrobeat songs. I didn't perform no R&B. Huh?
That's like the new place to go, Ghana. I'm hearing that. Like my niece is literally getting ready to go to France, and then she's going to Ghana. There's a lot of people here that go to Ghana. Like that's like the new thing. Like
I
what
feel
is
like
it like?
I was hearing about it before I went obviously, but then after it was just boom, Chance the Rapper, me, and I'm not implying that it was me, but it definitely was right after I came back. It's like the world was going to Ghana. Everybody's in Ghana. And I love it because I'm in the process of getting dual citizenship over there. Like,
shut up.
Yeah, I love Ghana. That's like I talk to somebody from Ghana every day.
You can't leave. What you doing?
No, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I just want dual citizenship because the whole concept is us coming back home and like us we've actually, even though it all is deep, we went through slave trade and we're in the state that we're in, we're still better off than the majority of the people in West Africa. So what Ghana is saying is like, even at your worst, like y'all really have more than us. So we want to invite y'all back to share, especially if you're well off. We want you all to not come over here and give us everything. We want you to invest into the culture and into the economy and become a part of us.
Which is what they're doing by all the artists that's coming over here.
Yeah.
And the music is changing. I feel like the music is changing again.
Absolutely. Man, especially everything got an Afro undertone, but it always did.
Yes.
It's just now it's like very tribal feel. Like, absolutely. And it's undeniable. That's why it's so big. Like, you can't get away from African roots. Anybody that hears or sees anything African
all the way down what Lizzo say, the twerking.
Yeah. You're going to be intrigued. The dancing, the culture, the colors, everything was a vibe from the time we landed. And them jokes, like my homeboy, my engineers with me, he almost cried. Like they was like, welcome home. And he was like, dang, that's so simple, but it's so deep. Like they already acknowledged, like, we're not even looking at you as an African American. You one of us. Like, and that's how I was treated the whole time. And I mean, I could show you my phone. Every morning or every day, somebody from Ghana has contacted me for the last year and a half.
Because it was all this little stigma that Africans didn't like Americans, and they didn't get along, and they didn't really think of us as African. So
There's
I think
some people that still feel that way over there. My parents lived in Ghana before I was born, so my godparents are from Ghana. So that's what was so dope about going back. It's
So you
like
already
I've
had a
always
connection.
known about Ghana, had a connection, but I've never been. I just grew up seeing the stuff around the house, the pictures. We had African masks from birth. Like all I saw was African culture around the home. But my parents are biracial. So my dad's Native American mostly. So it's a real unique dynamic because they wanted to instill in me, but I've never been there. My godparents are from there, all of that, and so going there was like, man, this is incredible. But they had that experience because they went during civil rights movement, and
Totally
to
different.
them they look white. So they were kicked out of Nigeria.
No way.
Like, by machete. Like they were chased out.
Because of the light
That's
skin?
how they ended up in Ghana meeting my godparents because they were saved. My parents were literally saved, and my mom was pregnant with my sister.
What?
Yeah, it's deep.
Oh, that's a whole nother episode.
I can't even make that up. Like, yeah.
No, dang. Well,
it was dope.
Glad they made it out.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I wouldn't be here. Right.
And we definitely didn't want that. You mentioned something about more so on the back scene,
Okay.
Not the artist. And I know from experience, you kind of really helped me a lot with me building what I'm building now as far as my trademark is done.
Oh, no.
I got my certificate.
Dang, easy.
Nope, by myself. And I paid very minimal. And that got it done the first time all the way through. And I just got my certificate this year, and it was a lot slower because of COVID. But KULEAIDE is now, at least for a songwriter, belonging to me.
That's dope.
Then I'll add the rest as I go along. So thank you for that, because you always was available, always humble, answering questions. My LLC is done. My publishing company is done. My business account.
You set up straight.
Yes, but a lot to do with you being so open and honest. So what would you say to someone else that desires to have a career in the music industry, and advise them on really what it takes? Because some people have the success of being able to go on YouTube, have a song that pop. Let's talk about that. Period. That's silly stuff like that. I'm sorry for all y'all that like it, but you know what I'm saying? It's people out here like you and I that put in work independently. But what would you say to those people that's gonna face those barriers and those setbacks?
Well, the first thing is I always use an example of just randomness. Like if I say, hey, and this is why I tell kids, like if I'm mentoring them or whatever, like if I told you to go perform brain surgery on someone you love, your mom, your father, someone, but you wouldn't dare because you're not prepared. You're not well versed in that. You haven't studied it. You haven't been to medical school. You're not a neurosurgeon. So you wouldn't know what to do, and that's a very intricate procedure, so you would probably kill them. But everybody jumps in the music industry without any knowledge. I mean, I did. But now that I know what I know, and I had to learn the way I learned, and my advice to people is to learn what it is that you're actually becoming a part of. You can't just say, I'm an artist, I'm a writer, a producer, because Instagram allows you to assign a name to yourself, a title to yourself. Like, you really need to know what publishing is. You really need to know what copyrights are and trademark. Like, you need to know the business because you're not going to be successful in this, or at least happy without it. Because you'll get a quote unquote deal. What does that mean? You don't
Especially
know.
if you get a bad deal.
Yeah, what does it mean once you get the deal? Or, I got a pub deal. What is a pub? You can't even tell me what it is.
And really, those is kind of, you got to be a dope, Felly the Voice
but see,
writer.
You know that now.
To be doing that. But yes, so it's like my bachelor's is media entertainment.
Right.
And I did a certificate, which extended me 6 months instead of taking a minor for music and business entertainment, which teaches you copyright and trademark. And then after I graduated, now I'm in my master's for new media journalism, where they talk about FCC laws and defamation of character. Like, I don't think people understand that music is the music, but you gotta be able to know how to protect yourself.
It's because my experience being a writer, I get to meet so many artists, and again, I'm not criticizing. It's constructive criticism because I was the same way. I just jumped in like, man, I'm finna blow it because I was winning a bunch of talent shows, and then I got exactly what I strived to get. I got a record deal when my first deal was in college. And it was a major deal. I was with So Def, but I didn't know. A label
just go ahead.
could fold.
Just keep name dropping. It's okay.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
It didn't work out.
No, I'm just like, I'm loving this because like I'm finding so much out. So yeah, let's talk about that.
It didn't. That's how I be knowing everybody. But it didn't work out for me. Like I was on a label for like 5 months, and then the label folded. What does that mean? I didn't know a label could fold. That this is Arista. You know. When Clyde Davis sold it, started J Records, and so all the artists got dropped. That was the end right there. So it's like, again, if I'm just an artist and I don't understand the industry, how do I survive? Or even my second deal, when I got out the deal, I knew exactly what I was going to do. So I started my business, and I started writing for all the people that I had met in the industry. All of the people I was, quote unquote, ghostwriting for, I started invoicing, making sure I got paid, stuff like that. But I kept ownership of everything because I knew then. So I had a publishing company. I had my, just tons of things. You know, it gets like real detailed, but absolutely. I made sure I had all my stuff. And you can probably see now, with you having what you have, just your trademark, your copyright, how many people have you met that even know have a clue of what to do?
None, because they like, I can pay you to tell me what to do.
Exactly, and I was just talking about that this morning. I was saying I've also had to learn that. I've given away a lot of information, and I'm having to learn to monetize that because everybody does not take that information and reciprocate or show appreciation. You have, several other people have, but the majority have not.
And that's a good cliche to trigger off when people say, "Oh, don't get the big head when you blow up."
Right.
And now that I'm more dived into this side, I realize why people don't always just tell you stuff in the industry, because you don't realize what they had to go through for them to gain that knowledge. And it is a lot of time, a lot of research, sometimes a lot of money, losses. So I got a different respect for people not just giving you stuff. Like I said, I always respect you always being available, but at the same time, if there's a way I can come support, or I'm gonna do a stream, you know. But I don't think people understand that. So I'm glad you even brought that up about you gotta know the business. That's number one. You gotta know that you gotta monetize. Eventually, you can't just keep giving away because people don't want to keep wasting their information, and then it's like, oh, well, they told me, but you ain't do nothing with it. So what am I telling you for? Or just being accessible to people all the time. Like that's one thing about me. I've never always just been like, tell me. You know, I'm like,
Nah, but you on the key point. You very supportive too, though. Like super supportive. Anything I got, I know you'll show up. You might post the song before I do.
Oh
you know
Lord, wait a minute.
Like,
have I done that? Oh
Lord. No, maybe in your story or something. But or if it come out and you were notified that it was out. I think it has. You and a couple of my other homies done posted the song before I even did my post. But that, like, people don't understand the value of that. Like, that when you're independent, like, that goes a long way because every post helps, every stream. But that's what I mean by monetizing my help. I've had people I've done everything for. You ain't never posted my music. Like, you ain't never told nobody about, because you just assume I guess, you know, oh, well, he's straight. But then your hand is out for everything that, like, what I'm helping you with costing me 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, 15 years to assist you.
Even in relationships, even if I refer you to a person, like how I asked you about engineers or somebody that can mix my stuff.
Because you can't call them. Like, if some, man, I already know my engineers, probably he's dope. But if I say, hey, man, this my homie, look, oh, okay, whole different conversation. Whereas if you just find them online, so it's so much vibe. That's why, like, anybody that assists me, you know, or that I rock with, I'm going to always show up. Like, or I'm going to help you in some kind of way.
Which is why he here now, y'all. Because I literally was like, everyone was like, oh, we love what you're doing, but you know, to be honest, I really was trying to disconnect from the music.
Yeah.
Just because I've been doing this since 95. I had a record deal. It went flopped.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of people and I've built relationships and I've sacrificed. You know, I met you through, you know, at that studio with our connected person. You know,
I don't even know how I got there.
Well,
I just be moving.
Right. But that's, I mean, like, that's how it's been. But it's like, it's been so many downfalls in the industry. I kind of wanted to break away. And then I kind of fell in love with videography because I had a friend of mine who told me, make sure when you're in college, you do a lot of diverse stuff. So I did audio engineering, podcasting, script writing, documentary film. I did all this video stuff, and I started falling in love with the video side. But it was a benefit for me because now I don't have to do as much as what you saying people have to do. Ask anybody. I don't have to wait. So the money that I'm putting in is now investing in myself, so I can do my own video. I can do my own editing. I can record my own stuff. I can mix, do a basic mix, with my own stuff. But I guess my next question is, let's just get into, it ain't really tea, but it ain't no tea. It's more of, how do you balance relationship? Is JC single? You on the market? You in the field? You playing?
I've been chilling. I've been single. I obviously was married because I spoke on that earlier. I got divorced in like 2018. And I've been single since, but my dating experiences haven't been good because I always end up dating
some crazy
people
person.
I always end up dating people in the industry. Not because I'm aiming to, it's just that's who I'm always around. And then we'll link, and typically what makes my stuff go left is because I've been married before, I'm comfortable taking the slow route. You know, like I'm not trying to meet you and then see how I can come to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I'm going to do that, I'm in Atlanta. Like, you just do that.
So,
like,
all the ladies, mark that down. JC is not a creep. He's a gentleman.
Yeah, I really am. But that's the problem. See, that's rare. So, what
Especially
happens
in the
is
industry.
It starts off as like this cool thing and just like, oh, he's so cool. And then they probably think I might be a little lame or too reserved, and then they get to know me better, and then it turns from like a couple of days to like me, and it's always the girls is like, yeah, I'm not even looking for nothing. Oh, okay, that's perfect. Well, we just date for a little while, like get to know each other better. They're the ones that like end up jumping the gun, and then they like ready. Like,
to what?
To be,
get married?
Man, everything.
What?
Everything.
What is up with that thing where folks just want to date?
Get married, have
like,
babies.
Listen, I feel like marriage is overrated. I'm sorry. I do. Like, I was all gung-ho because I used to be engaged. And I was all about, I want to be somebody's wife. I want to be married.
Yeah.
And
it really got to be done. It really got to
What?
be done.
It's crazy.
Right.
No, but listen, think about the people, just real quick. Think about the people who, one, are artists, industry, long-term, don't stay together, or people been married 17, 18, 19 years.
Yeah.
One little thing go wrong and they want to divorce, or it's like they fall out of love. Like, what do you, I just feel like there's more relationships, in my opinion, that I see on TV. Like I said, I don't know what's going on in people's lives, that are successful without the marriage part. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, for God's sakes. They've been married since Overboard.
I agree. Well, see, this is the thing for me. So it's going to always come back to a spiritual thing for me because it's a spiritual, it was originally a spiritual union. Now, you can make it a legal union. You could just make it about legal. But for me, in my faith system, it's always been like a spiritual thing. So, like, what I see is a lot of marriages that aren't rooted in that. So, it was going to be a disaster anyway. It was never going to work. Like, y'all might have a great relationship or some things, but then I've never seen a marriage work without it. I've never seen it. Now, my parents been married 49 years. My grandparents were married 64 years before.
So you come from that then.
Yeah.
So your view,
so I have a different perspective.
You rare.
But I ain't talking about just couples that stayed together for a bunch of years. Anybody that meet my parents will tell you, like, they like the freaking Cosby. My parents are like, yes. They are like, hey man, we giving y'all money. Get out the house. Like when I was growing up, and my dad.
So you didn't have no time. Oh.
Yeah, my dad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a PK. My dad a pastor, and he was my principal, and so people thought,
oh my Lord, PKP.
Yeah, all that. So they would think that everything was like real uptight. I don't know what they think about, like, because he's a pastor and my mom don't have an intimate. You know how you think we got here. So it's me and my siblings, and my parents used to kick us out the house, like, and my dad would tell us straight up, like, me and your mom, we got some stuff. We got.
Oh, so they can wait a minute. I'm thinking kick you out when you 18. You mean kick you out so they can have their own time?
Y'all go to the game at the school.
Go. Here's money. Go find you something to do because I need.
Well, the game over. Okay, well, don't they got a party or something after? Like, y'all go to Nah, we need our time. Like, y'all out, like, for real.
So that's how y'all wasn't blocking your daddy's blessings.
Man, my dad is like, he winding down my mom. He believe in dating to this day. Like, they date on a regular basis, and they in their 70s.
All you men out there watching, pay attention.
But again, that's my perspective. So if I meet a woman and I'm treating her the way my dad treats my mom, I can pretty much guarantee they ain't used to that.
They not gonna appreciate it, and that's so.
No, they appreciate it. That most of them have never experienced it, so it makes everything rushed,
intense.
So I can't date. Like, because I'm trying to get to know you. You like, dang, hey, I'm finna lock him down.
So you the catch.
I'm serious. I didn't say that.
You the catch. No, you ain't got to say it because I'm a woman.
I
didn't say that. If you the way you talking,
I'm giving my dad props because a lot of black men don't have that example.
This is true.
I'm saying my pops set the bar so high. At my worst day, I'm gonna probably respect you more than most men you come in contact.
Let's clap for JC, y'all. Let's clap.
And that's not just something I'm saying.
I believe
that's
you.
Like real. I got big shoes to fill.
That's what say you're rare because you have that influence.
Fighting over my mom because I'm single right now, so we see who can spoil my mom the most. My mama spoiled rotten. So I called my dad yesterday. I was like, mom got a package coming. Make sure you pick it up. Oh, what's that? What's that for? What you get? I don't know, man. You have to see it when you get there, but make sure she knows it's for me.
Oh, he wants.
I might tell you.
Or might block it, might slide it under the
sitting in the middle of it all, like, okay, what you got for me? What you like?
What you like? Who gonna? Oh, so what you gonna do for Valentine's Day? Then?
I just sent her flowers. My mom.
Well, there's some men out there that like. They moms expect them to like go in on Valentine's Day. I never understood that. Does that make me crazy?
Like that?
No, they expect you to visit them, send them a card. Like a man. I know a man who mom like expectation because she does not have a man. It's like
that I can understand. But see, my problem would be my mom wouldn't be available because Pop's he gonna be like, bro, you gonna have to come on the 15th. I'm dead serious.
The day before or the day after?
Yeah, and I've done that. I drove to Nashville to take my mom out for her birthday, and it's just like, okay, well, you can have her for this block.
That is so funny that y'all literally
they like a little high school couple. My dad.
Not even that. Your dad is not like he like Steve Harvey and and his wife like Margie. Like you can't. That's mine. Yeah. That belongs to me. Yeah. Now, real quick, so since I've tried to focus on mental health, discover, uncover, and recover skills to help people heal, have you ever experienced that? And especially since we have a mutual person that end up, ending their life tragically. Like, how do you deal with your mental, and as far as family, relationships, the music industry?
So, like I said, well, the most direct, because I had family, I had uncles who were really unstable. It was mostly always a drug thing. And then my ex-wife had that experience, but it was rooted in depression and anxiety, but mainly depression for stuff that she went through when she was younger. I never knew. It was an abrupt introduction in the middle of the marriage. I literally found out that's why it's in the video. It's very harsh. And people are like, oh my God, it is. But that's the reality of what happened. Like, I literally just found her dead. Like, I got a call the first time.
Really?
She found dead at a gas station. And she was resuscitated on site. And that was like, so I thought, I mentor kids and stuff. So I'm thinking somebody playing on the phone. And they called back, and so that was, it was just a very abrupt entry. Like that's just what I had to deal with.
Yeah.
But for me, it's gonna always be a spiritual thing. Like I have, like I'm very grounded. I do a devotional. I'm not perfect, but I try to root myself in that so that even like with you already know what we got to deal with in the industry. Like if I didn't have the faith system that I had, like I wouldn't be able to deal with the people that I deal with. But it gives me an inner peace that I'll never, and I can say that not arrogantly. That's my faith. Like I'll never be in that situation because I'm strong enough, like spiritually, to where I can't. I can't abuse drugs. Like I.
Oh yeah, no.
Kill myself.
No.
I don't. I love myself too much. Not because I'm perfect, but because it's that God, the God in me that allows me to feel that way about myself. And now I'm constantly. So it's a combination of that, feeding myself with that. And I heard TDJ say one time, like if you're constantly helping other people, it is nearly impossible for you to feel what you're going through because you're always helping other people. So that's something I do. That's not fake. People just don't see it on my IG because I purposely don't post that to make it look like, oh, look what I'm doing. I'm giving back. Like, oh, I'm at the shelter. Oh, I'm
yes, you see so much of that.
Yeah, I don't do all
it's
that.
hard to take it genuinely.
I try to do something.
So what do you do for the kids?
Well, I built a studio at Herman J. Russell.
Wow. That's big.
I've either worked there or volunteered there for like 13 years. I was with Greg Street. We were on a school tour initially, and I ended up there. And the principal was like, "Man, you well spoken. Like, if you ever need a job," but he was really throwing shots. He was like, "Dang, you an artist?" And I was like, "Well, I was a teacher before I became an artist."
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, my degrees and stuff are in education and business. So I ended up being a counselor. I was there the year Lil Baby was there.
Wow.
The first year I was there as just floating around as a whatever. I was just up there all the time. I just naturally gravitated to that school. So I went from doing a show to like just being up there all the time. And then so I've had jobs there. I've done contract work. I've been a teacher there. I've been a counselor there. Like just like I don't know. But I would do it without pay. But since I have the degree background, I've always been able to be up there and they'll find some type of funding to like be like, okay, where you doing this. It changes all the time.
And then I forgot to circle back around. I wanted to talk more about your company, because people, we're talking about the artists, but can you share your business, your company name, how you built it, like?
So originally, my company is Number 2 Pencil Music. Originally, it was just so that I could have my publisher share done properly with BMI. That's originally why I set it up, was really for my publishing paperwork, so I wouldn't be taxed 100% as
right.
Justin Crowder. I could be taxed half of my money to that. So I had the luxury, just like how I was telling you about it. I got that info from my engineer because he's the one that taught me the game and everything. And so it went from that to becoming like a full-fledged, like basically production and publishing company where I don't necessarily sign the producers to me, but I work out deals with them for us to do work together. So I'm almost more of like a consultant. So I'm able to advertise myself as a full-fledged, because I didn't want to sign anybody until I could really, like, I want to take care of my people. Like, I want to be able to give you like a crazy event.
Not no 360 deal.
Yeah, like I don't want to like. So I'd be like, bro, we ain't gotta do that. Just let's do this. So we have like a bartering system where everybody lit. That's what I love about it. These are all guys that I came on with. Nobody knew who they were. Like, I could have almost paid you to do something to them because you're like, who is that?
Right.
Now they all like, all of them lit. Grammy Award winning, multi-platinum producers. So it's crazy because the producers that I helped are all bigger than me. Like, technically, accolades.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like huge. But it's a producer's game right now.
Right.
Like, it's a producer's industry. But I'm able to work with them. So if I have an artist come off the street, I can put you with a producer that's the same guy that's producing Cardi B and Beyonce.
You like Quick Trip, one-stop shop.
For No,
real.
like those same people, because of that relationship, you're gonna work with them. I don't know what else I can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then I do the writing, the vocal arrangement. I have multiple engineers. I have partnerships with studios, and then I co-own. This is something I haven't talked a lot about because the studio is not official. We haven't done a grand opening. I'm trying to wait and do a post about it. But I do own a studio in New Orleans. I co-own a studio with my business partner David. He was originally my investor, and just the way I managed his money made him gain respect for me because he was like, "Man, you're better with my money than I am.
Wow,
like, you actually call about stuff like
that's huge.
nobody. Like I send him money back. Like he can send me $10,000-$15,000. Like these are real numbers, 20,000, and I send it back. I was like, yeah, man, like what you trying to do? That's like 80, or that's like 60. He didn't know,
right?
You know, I could have just taken the money
and just act like right.
Yeah,
but the God in you won't let you do that.
That's real.
For real.
That's real. But that's what I mean. Like without that, I just be out here in savage mode because I know enough to take advantage of everybody I work with. I know how to literally take advantage of anybody I work with musically because I know 99% of them don't know.
Which lets me know that you have patience because some people think savage to rush to get somewhere and they not ready to be there.
Yeah.
And they're not following the plan, you know, God's plan and being patient because they want it right here, right now. And that shows that you got the patience to say, I'm still not where I want to be,
right,
but I'm still not working on somebody else's job. I don't have to check in with nobody. Yeah. I still have say so over my life and the steps that I take, which I think is super important, which is where I talked to my sister before I started this channel in Chicago. And I said, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, nobody knows KULEAIDE like that. And I said, how do I get it started? And she said, like, the best thing she ever told me that was given to her from somebody else was, you won't know until you do it.
Yep.
So you got to fail to do it. And then you mentioned about your, so I'm saying this to y'all butterflies, don't be afraid to fall. When you fall, it's just a lesson for you to be able to learn from, get back up, but you got to keep going, got to keep fighting.
You gonna fall even if you blow. Like, you know, that's the luxury I have had of working. The major artists I work with, I'm all just like how me and Eric got cool. Like, I'm not gonna say we're the best of friends, but I have a lot of like major artists that I am friends with. And I did this interview one time, and they was like, "Yeah, I didn't know you." It was this lady. She had talked to somebody else. Found out all these people that I work with, and I was like, "How do you know this?" Like, so she had found out all this tea. And like, why don't you put that out there? I'm like, you know, I don't care. Like, I'm just like, I really don't care if people know or not. Like, but she was like, what's the one thing that in common they all have? I say, ain't none of them happy. I've never known,
really,
I've never worked with, and that's not a knock to, because I don't know every
exactly.
artist. But the artists I know and the artists that I really met, like, are struggling to find a place of peace. Like, they're really unhappy, so they're constantly coping, like, and self-medicating all day, from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. I'm like, but you filthy rich, and that tells
it ain't the money.
So that right there within itself changed my perspective because I've always been money driven, and my dad used to tell me, he's like, don't worry about no money. Like, I'm telling you, do the right thing, treat people right, always be giving of yourself.
Quincy Jones said that too. In his documentary, it said you can have the most money and you can kill relationships. And he said the money gonna come. He did it in his documentary in Quincy on Netflix. He said the money gonna come, but you have to be a good person first.
All the time.
Be a good person first.
All the time. And then ultimately what happens is you get successes based on the how we see success, society as a whole.
Relationships,
we typically look at success as money and trophies and all the stuff that you're trained at a young age to think, oh, this is success. But what if success is just being at peace in wherever you are? Like, if I'm a multi-millionaire, I'm at peace. If I'm not doing so well at the time, not saying you should be happy with that.
Right.
Just like, oh, well, everything's going to work. It's not. You still got to put the work in.
Right.
You know, it's still, but can I still be like have peace in that moment. And that right there, that's the part. Like when I sit down and I ask artists, like if I work with a major artist, I'm getting this from them too, because they telling me like if I could just be it, well, you just made $10 million last month and you're still have because it's not monetary. So that's why I've been trying to find things that are more fulfilling. And sometimes the artist side, when I'm having fun, it's cool. But when it starts getting too meticulous and too like over the top and very I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but all the cliche things that we think of when we think of industry.
A diva.
That's why I be like, yeah, this ain't for me, because it is. I already know. Even in the best case scenario, if they blew me up, did all this stuff, gave me all this money, I'm still not gonna be happy.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I get it, because even being here where I am now, financially, I'm not great.
Yeah.
And like maybe a year and a half this time, I struggled with suicide, and I was on lorazepam, and you know, I didn't leave my room, and you know, like I fell into like one of the darkest spaces, and it had a lot to do with the music, and then the being by yourself and not having somebody to talk to or trying to figure it out on your own. But now that I've come out of that, because I'm not the type of person either that likes anything to have more control of me than me. Other than, because I know I can't control death.
Yep.
So I have it programmed in my mind that the things that I can change, I'll change, and things I can't change, I'll change my attitude. But I have so much peace right now. But I've been single for 3 years. I've been celibate now for 9 months. I am in the place that I am now in my career where I don't make a lot of money, but I love my job. I love the people that I work with.
That's the difference.
Right. And now it's all about me, my podcast, my social media influence. And I may have 900 followers or 70 people on my channel, YouTube channel, but the 70 that I'm touching, they really interact. They like, where your videos at? I miss you. So the fulfillment that I have, I can totally relate to that. Like, I don't have the money, but the money gonna come because of the relationships.
Yeah. And you have, it's really organic.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. I talk to people about that all the time too. You can go buy all that fake stuff to buy, but that's a perfect example of how you can make it look a certain way. And you can have the numbers. You still not happy because you don't know any of the people. It's all fake. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like it's harder. You got to keep that up when you're not being authentic. Yeah. Eventually, the truth will come out, and they be like, "Dang, have you been that way the whole time?"
You can't keep it up. That's the reality, and it's the market. So this industry is so oversaturated. It's just like it's so many artists, so many. That's why it's not even room for arrogance in my book, because I look at the stuff I've done, and then I just go do a session with somebody that's done 3 times more. Or you mentioned somebody like Quincy Jones, like come on, Rat Pack, Michael Jackson, like
everybody.
It stopped there, but that wouldn't even be a portion of his list. So like I'm aiming for that type of status, like a Babyface and those guys. That's who I look up to. So I got super long way to go.
Okay, so I want to talk about the artists that because you mentioned that you had some artists. So you got the producers, but you got some singers. What you got going on that?
I don't have any artists.
Okay.
I was talking about the artists that I've written for, but no, I've stayed away from that. I ain't gonna lie. I have no.
You don't want to sign no artists.
No artists. I don't want to sign no artists. Artists are very emotional, me included. Like, I just feel like it's just too many emotions. And then when the business comes into it, it always gets so emotional. Like, who wrote the song? Or like, I've had situations where I had to explain to the artist, sweetheart, you don't have any publishing. You didn't write anything. Publishing is designated to writers and producers. Why y'all got 50? Y'all taking 50% of my money? You don't know the business. You're gonna get your money from the sales, like, cause you're not finna take that DistroKid or TuneCore check and split it with nobody. And the moment you get that, I don't care if it's $50, that's just gonna go into your bank account. You're not gonna pay out points and stuff like that. You probably don't even know what that is. If you go do a show, you're not gonna pay us.
Right.
You're gonna take that song and you're gonna be able to do whatever you need to do. You're gonna do your podcast. You probably won't even mention who wrote it, who produced it, et cetera, et cetera. They go on and do whatever. So that publishing is gonna always be designated to the creators of the song.
Mhm.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
But man, people get mad over that and
Just too much to deal with. It's like babysitting, huh?
Or they don't know what a manager is, so they're like, yeah, I'm shooting a video. So like, what are we doing? What do you mean? That's not the manager's job. Is maybe just set it up and give you some advice that's in your best interest. But they don't fund. The moment they start funding your career, that's a label,
Mm-hmm.
and they own everything they funded.
Definitely.
So they're gonna own all your music. They own the videos. They own, and that's why we keep hearing these stories of these major artists trying to get out of deals. And,
which is crazy because some of the artists, I was like, wow, you signed
mega
that?
Artists, but they signed those types of deals and didn't know what they were signing
because they were so excited.
Yeah, they just excited. So I just publishing and production, writing, like production company, publishing company.
So do you eventually just want to get away from putting out music and just stay behind the scenes, kind of like a Jay Valentine Tank type thing?
I mean, I would still be able to put out something if I wanted to, but I think I mentioned this dude in every interview. Babyface to me is just the GOAT. Like,
what?
Like,
and is
that like because you talk about him, you like, oh yeah, he is an artist, but it's kind of like you almost have to remember because he does so much. Writer, and then people forget his when he did do a label, it wasn't like mediocre.
No,
he had Outkast and TLC and you know what I'm saying, Donnell Jones. Like these are diamond artists. Pink, you know, like he didn't put out like a few. Oh yeah, my artists went gold. No, they went diamond. Like he had some of the biggest.
A lot of people ain't even doing that no more.
Yeah, and people didn't know So Def was under LaFace too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when I signed with them, they were still under LaFace. So all the Bow Wow, all the Crisscross, that was still Babyface piece.
So did you watch the verses with him and Teddy?
Yeah. I already said I was like, man, ain't nobody got a shot against Babyface. I'm sorry.
Teddy now, Teddy a beast now. Teddy, but
now if they said R&B, Teddy Riley they can go back and forth. But the moment you open up the can of worms to say Babyface body of work, you got to include his pop stuff, his rock stuff. Like, dude got everything.
He's still dropping stuff. Like he just dropped that album with Coco Jones and the whole female thing. So it's like he's never gonna stop.
Play the whole. I would have went on verses if I was Babyface. I would just play the whole Waiting to Excel. Like, oh yeah, I did it all.
That's me.
Yeah,
that's me.
That's
me.
Whitney Houston, like remember all the divas they had.
Yes,
he did every song and he produced and wrote every record and executive produced. He could just hit play. Like it's no competition.
Nope, none whatsoever.
In my book.
Oh my Lord, we could probably sit here and talk like all the way to the Super Bowl start.
Right.
But it is Super Bowl Sunday, y'all.
Right.
Oh man, there's just so many more questions that I just want to ask. Like, what about kids?
Yeah, I got a daughter.
Right, but more kids.
I got a daughter.
You don't want no more? You done?
I think it's a wrap.
Especially you talking about looking for the right one. What if she don't have no kids?
Oh yeah, if she don't have no, like, I feel like kids, in my opinion, and I love kids.
I know, clearly, yes.
I like to work with everybody else's kids and then give back. But they all think they my kids because I really do love kids. I got that from my dad for sure.
Well, I need to get your daddy on down here.
I just did, yeah.
So he can give some insight on how to be a good man. Because to compare him to Bill Cosby, listen, I know the cliche about whatever people, but the Cosby Show itself and the whole.
That's literally how I grew up. Like literally,
that's rare.
I don't know. See, now people think when I say that it's a dangerous thing to say because people used to call that as joy. They'd be like, "Oh, y'all the Cosby," but they thought I was privileged in a sense where my parents did have, they were well off, stuff like that. I never knew, until I became an adult because I've been working since I was 14. I think my dad got me a job at 14. He took me down to the Hardys, like by the school. Like this when he was my principal. He was like, man, you finna get a job. But before that, I was already cutting the grass and doing stuff since I was like 8. and my dad was like real big. Like, you not finna be no sorry.
It's like you
man.
really never got a break from your dad unless he put you out.
You're not gonna be. I had to go to meetings with him, like everything, and I despise.
Wow.
Like I couldn't stand. I couldn't wait to get out the house. Then I got older, and I was like, dang.
It set you
He done
up.
taught me the whole.
Killed the whole gang. Oh man, that's so dope.
And so I'm with my sisters talk about it because I feel like I've really come. I watch how.
So wait a minute, you the only boy?
I'm the only boy.
Oh, so you
that's
like
why
his
he
star
was so
player?
hard on me. And he didn't have his dad wasn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was, out of picture a lot of times, in and out, alcoholic, and just he watched his mom struggle a lot. He's like, you're never gonna have that excuse. So if you do that, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not gonna say like
I didn't give you
example.
right.
You didn't see it exhibited in the household. You didn't have everything. So everything had to be on point, from grades to sport. I couldn't even halfway play a sport. If my dad felt like I wasn't playing for real, he'll come out on the field.
No.
Yeah. My dad used to run the sideline when I played football. He would run on the sideline to the end zone. So
with you?
Yeah. So if I wasn't running fast enough, he would push, like he would run.
Come on, Dad.
Yeah, he on that level.
He was always the example, though.
Yeah.
So it's like
I still didn't agree with. I didn't rock with my dad when I was young because it was just too much.
What kid does?
So I'd be like,
because you don't understand. You like, I want to do what I want to do.
Mean, very
oh
mean
no! Have you apologized?
Of course, but like, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was real bad. But now I see it in my sister, like, man, you're so. But the biggest thing I learned from him was humility, because he always was in a position of power. My dad, like, being a head of a church, like, he was on the board of education. He's a chaplain of the TBI right now. He was always a principal, and you never felt it. Nobody's ever been around either one of my parents, but especially my dad. Like, they've never been around him and felt that. So I was like, I don't ever want to change that part. So if I could be a multi-millionaire, people won't know unless they just happen to find out. Because I'm not going to let you know.
Oh, I definitely didn't know until you pulled up in that whip. I was like,
nah.
What kind of car you driving? As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, that's him. That's him.
Even with that, whatever I do, it's going to always be like, and I'm not saying that about the car, but it's going to always be slightly below my means.
No, you are very humble.
Like, because
Absolutely.
I'm like, dang, I want to go get, now I'm like, what do I need a car for? Like, that kind of stuff.
And nobody does that. They be like, I want it, I'm going to get it. I got it. I can do it. I got it.
Yeah.
That's how you have success.
Sometimes I be mad, man. I be like, dang, I want to just go ball out, but it's not in me.
No.
Like I want to be more structured and more sound, more financially sound with my decisions. And then when I do, or if I were to remarry, whatever, or you mentioned kids, if I was to ever do that, I would want to like have a strong foundation coming in. I don't want to come in like, oh yeah, man, I wowed out for the last 10 years and I don't have anything in the bank. I don't have any savings. And then I take my daughter real serious, like as far as leaving her something. When I never know. I was just in a
and we don't even freaking do that.
Did we talk about that?
No.
I was in a car wreck a couple weeks ago. And like just little stuff like that. If I wouldn't have been so fortunate, okay, what happens to my child?
Wow.
Like,
and most people don't. That's like most people don't think about that.
I think about all that. Like I gotta have. Like I want you to have more when I'm gone than you had when I was here.
Wow, that's deep.
So I leave. I want to leave more than I lived with while I was here. So I set more aside. Make sure I have beneficiaries in place. And to me, that's fulfilling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, damn, if I check out, y'all good.
I ain't got to worry about y'all. Oh, listen, like I said, Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you. Oh, because you start getting. Because you get like I'm still a girl.
Right.
You just could, and then that's why they out here going crazy because you be like,
you already know, we back.
Right. You ain't finding nobody like you.
We having a conversation and we on the phone and I'm talking to a girl and I'm telling them they think I'm running games.
No.
And I'm trying to tell them
that's because they slow.
How hard
exactly.
it is to live up to all that, like, and what you got to sacrifice. I'm not saying that arrogant. Like sometimes I'll be mad at myself for even thinking the way I think.
No,
like,
you keep being you.
disciplined sometimes.
No,
like,
stay disciplined. Okay, you need to do a workshop about that.
Oh man.
Like you should be doing a whole. You should be on a podcast on how to be a good man by JC.
I need a cheat day.
No cheat day. You don't get no days off.
All
What your
right.
daddy say? No days off.
All
But this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
And
you for having me.
listen, anytime. And y'all, it's on video. I'm be looking for this job. You know, I'm trying to be.
Hey, look, that's my plan. That's my next goal is to position myself to where I can employ my people. I haven't reached that part.
Right.
So I got myself straight, and I had a goal of a certain little nest egg I wanted to reach, and I got there. Then I was like, dang, I still am not in a position like some of my homies that I know maybe will want to work with me, or they be like, hey, I can do this and do this. I'm really not in position to hire them.
Right.
So that's my next goal is getting to that place financially to where like I can start hiring people
and doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
but the right way. Not
right.
like, oh, you can be part
well,
of
you
the
can get paid
entourage.
today, but not get paid.
Yeah, I'm talking about like really giving someone a salary with benefits and having a
not the benefits.
Yeah. That's how the real ones do it.
What?
I can't tell you who, but one of my best friends, she works for this famous actress, and the way they set their stuff up,
it's a real corporation.
Yeah, she got like retirement and everything, but she just works for her.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's all set up
like a regular, like if you was working at Walmart or something like that. That's dope. Well, when you get to that status, even prior to that.
Well, when you get there, you might be me. So if you get there first,
you better speak that because you already said people be passing you that you be helping and supporting. So hey, I'm gonna receive it.
I wouldn't even be surprised. Like maybe that's my purpose in life. Like plant a bunch of seeds and then
watching blossom.
Yeah.
Like the color purple got a big lilac field full of.
Somebody got reach back though. Like,
well, you know I'm gonna reach back.
I already know.
And plus, I kind of want to be a vessel for people that get the door shut in their face.
Right.
That's like one of my close to hearts is when I do get there is to, if you serious and I see it in you, to make it not as difficult, not easy, but not as difficult and give people opportunities. Because a lot of people, I just told somebody, and I think I posted on my page, people don't always want charity. They want opportunity. So I want to be able to say, okay, you don't have the financial needs. I do. You don't have the skill set. I do. You don't know the people. You really want this. I can tell. Let me help you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just being like,
official anyway.
Yeah, but like people.
Learned that from working in school.
They used to
have a thing where you say don't put a Band-Aid on a bigger problem. So, do you need money or do you need a job?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is more valuable?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I just send you some money as your friend, or a colleague, I'm really not helping you. Maybe you on the side of the road, need some gas, stuff like that. But if I'm just constantly sending you money, I had to get out of that because I was doing it with a lot because I don't mind. But then I started realizing I wasn't really helping the people it really doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be better for them to be have an opportunity or a different mindset maybe.
Right.
Maybe their mindset is off as far as like how to approach that side of life. So I started coming from that perspective.
Exactly. And that's fair. But thank you for making this episode such a success. We're going to circle back around when you start hiring people because maybe we can get some people some jobs. Right. So talk to the people and let them know where they can find you and what JC got coming up next.
Okay, y'all. Well, first of all, I got a song out right now called "Find You" with my homie Cass. So check that out. But just go to itsyourboyjc.com, ITSYABOY, JC.com. That's really the one stop. All my music's on there, my videos, my social media. Y'all just lock in.
Lock in. Y'all, well, that is it. Now, I do a little quick segment where I say song of the day and the power of the lyrics. So after everything that we just did, what would be a good song or like your song of the day for the day? That's kind of relatable to either how you feeling or something you experienced this week or just like what you said you played some jazz. So like what would be your song of the day?
I don't know.
Well, what's a song with some powerful lyrics that is a go-to song for you? JC?
I'm gonna tell them I'll be listening to beats all the
So the power is in the beats.
God, man,
that's the hard one.
That's hard. I don't know.
I would say the song of the day, Power of the Lyrics. I would probably say with today, I would say Celebrate. Celebrate good time. Come on.
This is getting scary.
Why? What happened?
I talked to my friend. We was talking last night, and so I went to church this morning, and so the sermon topic was what we was talking about last night. But then it was something else that happened today, same topic. Then that was literally how my boy ended his sermon today.
Shut up.
Yeah, like I can't make this up.
No.
And everybody in the audience said.
And I literally just sitting here.
So I can't make that up. Like you can go run that back.
I literally just thought it just popped in my head.
Yeah,
to celebrate.
They was talking about celebrating, like just being in the, a body of believers in the camaraderie. Everybody has it at church, and they were doing a lot of stuff for the earthquake in Turkey, and they're big on philanthropy and support like that. So that was. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, well, we're gonna do Celebrate because I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this second season. It's starting off great. So I'm celebrating my growth this year and not to repeat all the things that were wrong in last year. So I'm celebrating new beginnings, new journeys, and new episodes, y'all. So y'all heard it again. Sing. Amen.
Next year, I'll be here as a Grammy Award winning songwriter.
Okay.
So, we're going to just go ahead.
And I have my master's degree, you know what I'm saying? And, then I'll be able
I do believe in celebrating in advance.
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer.
You got to.
I'll literally just say, oh, I'm going to do this. And then I just celebrate. It's not a real turn up,
but still.
I kind of celebrate.
You living in that moment. Yeah. Like, I don't think people understand that either. For you to be really be passionate about your goals or really think that you're going to make it, you got to celebrate it. You got to live in it. They do that in the law of attraction. Like, if I want to be in my BMW, I got to see myself in this BMW. If I think Kicking It with Kool-Aid going to be one of the largest YouTube channels or biggest podcasts or most influence, then I got to be able to feel that and live in it. And if I want to be on the red carpet interviewing people, or if, I want to get back into music, which eventually I will, but I want it to be on my terms. I got to feel in that. I think where I'm at right now, I don't want to be in the industry until I can control more of what I can control for myself. I think I've been shadowing and expecting people to help and depending on the relationships that I have, not realizing that they wasn't really there to support my career. But now if I circle back around, I got the power. I can dictate who, what, when, and how. Like that's.
Yeah, we'll definitely see you on the red carpet. I already see it. Like,
come on, man.
It's some people it's natural.
Well, thank you. I receive it. All right, y'all. So that is the end of this episode. We're going to wrap it again with my boy, JC. Y'all heard a new song is out. Find me. Find you. My bad. Find you. No, Find You is out. And Cass, which is so unique because my son's name is Casanova and we call him Cass.
That's what Cass is short for.
That's Casanova. Wow. That's his name. And he spelled it with a K.
That's dope.
And I texted him and was like, somebody got your name on the song. He was like, for real?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
there's another Casanova in the world. Let's go. All right, y'all. So I'm going to catch y'all next episode. Don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about something. And it's your girl Kool-Aid. And as always, I want to know your flavors.
Yeah, I'ma find you. I feel better when I'm beside you. I'ma find time just to slide through. I could close my eyes and I will find you. You don't see me much. No, I got no hustle, baby. Still we keep in touch. Yeah, just to find you. Sometimes I close my eyes.
back. I had to get it, I can't sit back. Cause I was broken, had to fix that. Kissing on your body, know you missed that. When I hug you, I would grip that and get it cracking like a 6-pack. You don't see me much. When I'm away, I really need your touch. I'm trying to find you. You know I hustle, my whole life's in a rush. I'm trying to get it till I'm back in the dust. All I'm asking is trust and loyalty. I'm trying to give you all of me. Long distance and I feel your body calling me. And I pick up every time I close my eyes, I can see you in my mind. I'm trying to find you, yeah.
I'ma find you.